Hey everyone, I'm here today to take a look at my bug out bag, which is something I haven't done for a while. I think my initial bug out bag video was done 10 years ago. It was one of the first videos I uploaded, so kind of as an anniversary, since it's been 10 years, I thought I'd give you an updated look at my bug out loadout now, because I've changed a lot of things. Almost everything actually is different now. Now for starters here, I've got my tent, sleeping mat, inflatable pillow and sleeping bag, and this is what takes up the bulk of room in my pack, but it's important for me to have a comfortable night's sleep where I can very quickly get a shelter up, know I'm going to be warm and dry, and then after that, if there are days to follow, I can think about building a more permanent shelter. But I like knowing that I've got instant shelter from the elements and it's not something I really have to worry about. Next I've got a first aid pouch, which I'll give a more in-depth look at in a minute. EDC pouch I'll look at more in a minute. Couple of masks, very important nowadays, and my cleanliness kit. It's got a towel in there. I've also got a little toothbrush, tiny tub of toothpaste, a tiny little bar of soap, a toothpick which has got a flossing bit on the other end, all small hygiene products like that. I really want to get another case like this to keep them in though. This round case isn't really very good for putting in my pack. It takes up a lot of space. I'd like to be able to fold them down smaller really, but for the time being I've just put all of my hygiene products into the case that the towel came with. And the first aid kit here, I've got some scissors, plasters, some tweezers, a mirror, some nail clippers, some rubber gloves, some antiseptic wipes, cotton buds, Lemsips and various other dissolvable medicines, soluble aspirin, lots of tablets in here, different pain relief tablets, antihistamines, water purification tablets. And then in the back here I've got some larger bandages, cotton buds, face mask, some tape for the bandages, some antiseptic cream. So it's a reasonably comprehensive little kit, and this attaches to the outside of my pack. This doesn't actually go in there, just easily velcros on the outside onto one of the straps. And now this little EDC pouch, which also attaches to the outside of my pack. I've got some bite and sting relief spray, glow stick, a pen, which also has a little flashlight attached to the end of it there, a lighter. Behind that I've got some paper and a emergency blanket there, one of those foil blankets, and some safety pins there. I keep a spare battery in here for the flashlight. I've got another little knife here, just a little Browning knife I've had for a while now. Quite nice little knives. Another whistle and a Bear Grylls Priority Survival little pocket guide there. And then behind that I've got some bandages and plasters, so a bit more first aid stuff there, and some tissue paper. There you can see I've got my air rifle with pellets. There's a hell of a lot of pellets there. I think there's about 500 in that, so you've got a lot of ammo, which doesn't take up much space. It is reasonably heavy. That's the bulk of the weight in the pack is the ammo and my water supply. I've got a litre of water, but I think it's worth it if you can hopefully sustain yourself, if you can hunt, manage to get the odd squirrel, pheasant, pigeon, rabbit here and there. Also got a radio. Now this is a solar powered radio with a crank as well, so I don't have to worry about batteries running out. With that I can keep track of what's going on in the world and just pass the time, something to entertain me. This can also charge my mobile phone, which I would have in my pocket if I need to get on Tinder in an emergency or something. In here I've got my compass, some hand sanitizer, and this I would have on my wrist. That's quite a good length of paracord there that I can use. And one of the things I would use this with is this personal alarm that I also have in the kit. It doesn't really take up much space, doesn't weigh very much, but you could set up a perimeter alarm with that around your camp using the paracord. Also have a little flashlight, which I would have in my pocket ideally. A folding trowel, which is very handy. A walkie-talkie. Now this would only be if I came out with other people. If I had a friend or a family member with me, we'd have a walkie-talkie each, so this is optional really. But very useful for obviously keeping in contact with anyone you're with. As well as being able to charge my phone off of this and just keep track of what's going on in the world, it also has a flashlight in it. So I've got another extra light there, and an alarm. Now that and the personal alarm I have with me can also be used to draw attention to myself if I need. If I was in an accident somehow or injured and I couldn't get access to the whistle, or maybe I just didn't have the energy even to use the whistle to blow it very loudly, I could turn the alarm on this or on the personal alarm to hopefully get aid. Here I've got an emergency whistle, which also has a compass on the end there, and the body of the whistle is a waterproof match container, and I've got quite a few matches in there. Also got this Bear Grylls fire lighter, and now those with the lighter as well. I mean, I've got 3 different methods of starting a fire. So when it comes to fire starting and cutting tools, I want a redundancy. You know, 1 is none, 2 is 1. I like to have 3 really of each, so you've got a backup, because those are the 2 most important things, cutting tools and the ability to start a fire. I'd say the 3rd most important is a metal container to boil water in, which I do have with me, but also in the UK there are tin cans everywhere, so you're probably not going to go for more than a day before coming across an old Coke tin or something lying around, an old Coke can that you can use. Here I've got a folding saw, a sheath knife, which I would potentially have on my belt depending on the situation. Cold steel GI Tanto, really hefty knife, that very sturdy, full tang. There's a lot you can do with that without having to worry about it breaking. Knife sharpener, a backup blade. Now this multi-tool here not only has a backup knife blade, but it also has a saw, so I've got a backup for both of these. And then a carabiner clip, which can come in handy. You can easily just click that onto your belt or onto your rucksack, and that also has another blade on it. So I thought I might as well, since I want to have a carabiner clip anyway, might as well have one which also has a blade on it. And here's just a closer look at that Anglo Arms multi-tool. I'm not sure what the specific name of this multi-tool is actually, other than that it's made by Anglo Arms. So it has a 3rd blade there. Very nice little tool. And here I have just a few little treats to give me some extra calories, a bit of a sugar and a caffeine boost, a couple of dark chocolate bars, a couple of chocolate mochas, and then in here I've got my cookware. And here I've got a hexi tablet for fuel. In the top of the pouch here I've got some matches, some water purification tablets, and a tin opener. And in the main compartment I've got my canteen and cookware, my little portable pocket stove. It's a wood burning stove. I've shown this in a lot of videos, I use this a lot. And a metal spork. Now this opens up here. You've got a plastic container there to eat your food in or collect berries or whatever. A litre of water in that bottle there, and then the cooking pot itself for boiling water, cooking food in. And there's the stove put together. Can use all sorts of fuel in that. You can put an alcohol burner in there, hexi tabs, or just wood. So I've got quite a complete set there, and it all folds up pretty small and snug in that pack. That's why I like the Yugoslavian mess kit, because it's square, it fits into spaces in a pack nice and neatly, doesn't waste any space around it. Even though the main compartment of my pack is taken up with my sleeping gear, all of this smaller equipment fits in the top of the rucksack. There's a pouch kind of on the inside as you open it up, but all of that fits in, so I don't have to worry about any of that falling to the bottom of the bag. The only thing I keep in that main big section is my sleeping gear and my cook gear. First aid kit and the EDC pack are on the outside, so I've got easy access to those if I need, and all of the main tools I've got easy access to very quickly, and some of them I could even keep on my person, such as the knife. This I'd keep in my pocket, and the torch I'd keep in my pocket. So that's my setup currently. If you've got any ideas, anything you think I've missed out, let me know. Maybe tell me about what you keep in your bug out bag as well in the comments. Be interesting to see what everyone has for their certain situations, you know, depending on the kind of environment you live in. Obviously you're going to have different gear, but this seems to suit me and where I am. I'm not in a rural location, so I don't really have to worry about standing out too much. I can pretty quickly get into the countryside without anyone seeing me from where I live. So that's not too much of a concern for me if I do end up looking a bit too tactical. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching and for your continued support all these years. I've got more videos coming this year. I've got another one coming out in the next week, hopefully. Proper camp out, old school style. So thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you soon.